Hey everybody, today we're going to talk about knowing your worth. If you've just jumped on in the middle of this series, I am telling you all the amazing things that I learned at the most recent TBEX conference, which is a travel bloggers exchange. I'm hoping that these tidbits will be helpful to you, even if you're not a travel writer. And today, I want to talk to you about knowing your worth. Chris Lau was a keynote speaker at the conference, and he talked about knowing our worth, understanding what our value is. His presentation was fantastic, and he was actually selling a a mentorship, a coaching session. So if you're interested in that, you want to look for Chris Lau, Lau, and check him out. I've never done, again, he's new to me. I've never done any of his coaching or mentorships before, but I did talk to him about it, and it seems like a pretty neat thing. So if you really want some more information, go and check him out. But I want to talk to you about 3 things that I really took away from his keynote, and I hope that they can be helpful to you, even if you're not ready to deep dive into a mastermind with him. My name's Leslie Peterson, and I help bloggers turn their modest websites into thriving online enterprises with SEO, email marketing, and a little hard love encouragement to always move forward consistently and with a plan. So here's the first one. Know your special sauce. That's what I like to call it, special sauce. What's that thing you're good at? What's that thing you're passionate about? What's that thing that you can offer to the brands that you're looking to work with in order to provide value and generate revenue? So for me, my special sauce is search engine optimization and email marketing. There's a lot of things I could do. I mean, every once in a while I can take a good picture. I can craft a fun story from a storyteller angle. I've got a little bit of social media. I mean, there's some things I can do. But if you really want value from me, then you're going to let me leverage SEO to help you, either on my blog or on your blog. And you're going to let me help you with your email marketing, either leveraging my audience or leveraging your audience. That's what I say to the brands that I work with. In fact, at the conference, when I sat down at the table and they were like, tell me a little bit about yourself, I literally said, my special sauce, my secret sauce is SEO and email marketing, and that's how I can help you. And then I would go on to explain why those are valuable, why those are important, and really what they mean to me. Now, your special sauce is going to look different than mine. Well, it might look the same, but you might have something else. You might really focus on social. You might be fantastic behind a camera. You might be great at affiliate marketing, and you're really able to push whatever product that it is that particular brand is behind. Whatever your secret sauce is, I want you to identify it, know it, feel it, embrace it, and then also differentiate it. Because there are a lot of bloggers in the space who have the special sauce of email marketing and SEO. There's definitely a lot that have the special sauce of TikTok or Instagram. So you have to identify what makes you special, what the thing is that you're bringing to the table, but you also have to identify why you're the best at it. What angle you provide. For example, I have a girlfriend who is fantastic on Instagram, and she's got teenagers. So she's a travel influencer. She's got teenagers, and she's like, listen, not a lot of people are talking about traveling with their teens. Couples, solo, little kids, yes, not teens. Here's what we do. We go this many places every year. We always bring our teenagers, etc., etc. So she's really differentiating herself. She's saying, here's how I deliver. Here's the mode that is the best way to work with me, and here's what makes me different than the other person who's going to sit down at the table at this conference right after you, or right before me, or right after me. So that's the first one, special sauce. The second thing that I want you to get together, to know, to internalize, and to document in order to know your worth are your stats. Now, yes, if you're a blogger, you should know how many page views a month that you have, maybe even every day. You should know what the demographics are for your site. You should know what your top posts are, and those are givens, right? But I want you to go a little further. I want you to dig a little deeper and really find like what value. So we have our blog content is seen by almost, not quite yet, 8 million people a year. Well, what does that mean? For me, I'm a travel blogger. What does that mean to a destination? Who cares? So your job is not just to define your stats, but to find stats and define stats that really benefit the brands that you want to work with. Let me give you an example. And the example I'm going to give you is from a travel blogger perspective, but this is across the board. Whatever type of brand you want to work with, whatever niche you're in, you're going to have to find those statistics that matter to the brands that you want to work with. So, for example, in the tourism space, it's important for many CVBs and DMOs to get links from our site back to their site. So we work with some places that actually the funds that they get from the state are directly proportional to A, the number of hotels they sell, but B, how much traffic they're getting to their site. So getting traffic from us, any traffic we can push to them, is valuable. So I share with people, we send destinations an average of 5,300 clicks per month to their website. And we have one town that we work with where we generate 18,000 page views a month for their site alone. So the reason we're able to do that is because of the traffic that we get to the site, because of the SEO value that we offer. But they don't really care about SEO, and they don't really care about how many page views I have. What they want to know is what I can do for them. And for these particular CVBs who really need traffic to their own site, when I can tell them, listen, we send an average of 5,300 page views from our site to most CVBs that we work with, and some of them as high as 18 to 35,000 a month, depending on the season. And then they go, oh, okay, that's somebody that I want to work with, because that's what's important to them. Now, the other thing that we do is we calculate lifetime marketing value. So we have some tools that help us do that. So with the top 15 destinations that we work with on our site, we're able to say we offer a $35 million lifetime marketing value to those people. Some brands that I work with, they're like, I don't even know what this means, to which I either ask them if they're interested in understanding how that number's put together. More importantly, I ask them, well, how do you measure success? But I did meet with one destination recently at the conference and talked to her about that. And she was like, this is the exact number I track. How do you track it? So I told her the formula that went into getting to that number. And she's like, that is very similar to the way that we track it. And I'm hoping that contract's going to be moving forward. But she was like, nobody else is bringing this number to the table. So I'm not saying that's the right number. Of all the destinations I met with, there was one destination who cared about that number. What I am saying is find the numbers that do matter with the brands that you want to work with. And go beyond what everybody else is offering. Go beyond, here's the number of page views, here's the number of Instagram impressions, here's the number of TikTok views. Go beyond that and find the value for the brand. Find the number that reports value to the brand. The other numbers that I find to be interesting for the brands that I work with are demographics, but not just education or race or age or all of that. But it's dollars spent and their affinity for spending money. So again, back to travel. We're able to tell on our site that 53% of the people that come to our site actually spend money on resorts. And even though we're a Southeastern travel blog, Southeastern content, or Southeastern, I should say, audience, 72% of the people who come to our site are looking for international travel experiences. So how did you find that, Leslie? Well, we use a tool called Quantcast, Quantcast. I'll try to remember to put that in the show notes. And that actually allows you to track the people who are coming to your site, to correlate them with their credit card spend. Now, it's not a one-to-one correlation. There's nothing creepy going on here. But they're able to see the people who are coming to your site and then correlate them with in their database. And it's really, really nuanced and incredibly cool. Like, I can look at Quantcast and I can see the types of applesauce that people tend to buy. The people who come to our site tend to buy. And then from the travel perspective, of course, I can see the way they spend money on travel, what kinds of resorts they go to, down to the brand of hotel that they prefer. So imagine if I can go to a hotel and say, listen, over half the people at our hotel are spending money with you. Let's reinforce that. Or I can go to another hotel and say, half the people coming to our site are spending money here. I prefer your brand. Help me push this. Help me change the way these numbers look. So whether you're in travel or not, take a look at those kind of spending habit numbers, those affinity numbers that you're not going to be able to get from Google Analytics, even the fancy schmancy GA4. Okay, so we talked about special sauce. We talked about stats. The third thing that I want you to consider when you're knowing and understanding your worth is the ability to say sayonara, goodbye. So I love sayonara because I lived in Japan for 4 years. So, but sayonara, just for those of you who don't know, it just means goodbye. You need to know when to say goodbye. Sometimes it's really obvious. So we have a featured listing on our site, or that's something we sell. If you're not familiar with that, please check out that podcast or YouTube video. But across the board, it's $750 a year, which is a steal. And we need to have another podcast to explain to you how I came to that pricing number and why I feel so good about it. But I will tell you, it is a steal, but I feel really good about that number. I can justify that $750 a year. So I've had some people who jump on it. Other people who say, well, I can't do $750 a year. Will you take 75? Okay, so that's an easy no. And generally, this is how the conversation goes. $750 isn't in our budget. I've got $75 to spend. Would you consider that? And my response back is, I'm afraid that's not within, I'm trying to think of exactly how I say it. That won't work for us, but if your budget changes in the future, we'll be here. So there's no negotiation. I mean, if it's $750 and they're proposing $75, there's no negotiation. I'm walking away. I'm saying sayonara. And again, that's kind of a no-brainer. I mean, that's a big difference. But other things that happen would be it's a $750 product and somebody will say, well, will you take $700? Well, I don't have, this, as tacky as this sounds, I don't have time to argue over $50. What I will do one time is say, no, we don't discount this product. If you'd like me to add a social share, I'm happy to do that. So then they can make the decision. I'm going to give them the product for $750 a year. And because they were testing me to see how firm I was on my prices, I'll say, no, I'll throw in a social share for you. And then I just make sure I put that on the calendar. But I never discount. Maybe in like 12 years, I've done it maybe 2 times. Usually with clients who are already working with me for many, many years, and I want to do something new with them, and I'm not sure how it's going to work. That's a good reason to maybe discount with them. But definitely not a regular practice, definitely not with a new customer. I am ready, willing, and able to walk away from a deal because of a 10%, 5% discrepancy. Because I know my worth. I know what I can do. I know that price is already good. And that, I understand that sometimes people will ask for a discount because they are testing you to see how firm you are in your prices. I mean, are you willing to come down? Because not everybody feels confident about their prices. But you don't want to start a relationship on that foot. You don't want to start a relationship by saying, well, I can't really justify why I'm charging that much, so I guess I'll take that much. Or I need the money, so I'm going to take it. That's just, even if all those things are true, that's just not how you want to start off a relationship. So I just encourage you to be confident. And listen, if you're not confident, at least sound confident. Put the confidence hat on for the moment, for this conversation, and just say, no. I'm willing to offer you something very simple and easy, whatever that is for you. For me, it's a Facebook share. But I'm not discounting my price. And then you have to be able to let them go. And it's really hard the first couple times you do it. But it's going to be a lot easier to deal with the next person who comes, who sees your value, who understands your worth, and who you can spend that extra energy on making them happy, going a little bit above and beyond so that they come back and work with you again and again, as opposed to bending over backwards to help somebody who's not willing to recognize what you're worth, because that's just the tip of the iceberg. So in the long run, you're better served by sticking to your guns. So those are the three ways, and these are not from Chris Lau. He might have a completely different take on these, but these are his Know Your Worth keynote at TBEX really inspired me to share with you 3 ways that I feel like I help demonstrate that I know my worth and that I want for you. So understanding what's your special sauce and communicating that in a way that really differentiates you from the competition. Number 2, knowing your stats. And I don't just mean the ones that everybody's expecting you to know. I mean the ones that are beneficial to the brands you're working with. What are the KPIs, the key performance indicators that they are looking for? Find out how you can help in those ways. And if it's not as robust and as amazing as you hoped it would be, well, you can lower your price for justifiably, and you can make adjustments and when you get to that point that you're excited about, then raise your price again. I have a friend who's really great. One of the things she's able to do is say, I sell this many tours every year. Well, I don't sell tours. I can't sell a tour to save my life. So that's not something I'm going to bring to the table. And if they ask me, I'm going to say, I am not your girl to sell tours. I'm just not her. That's not me. So know the stats that people are looking for and know how you fit in. And the ones that you choose to share, make sure that you can explain the benefit. Why does a CVB, for example, or any brand that you want to work with, a food product or a store, why do they care how many page views they have? Why does that serve them in any way? Keep asking. Okay, well, because we can get more traffic because we have SEO. Okay, well, why does that matter to them? Well, I can sell more. How do I know you can sell more? All those questions, just keep asking why. Okay, special sauce, stats, and then sayonara. Be willing and ready to walk away if you need to. You've got to do that. You've got to do that, friend, so that you free up the space in your life to work on new projects, to have amazing partnerships that are lucrative for both of you. So there you go. You are a beautiful storyteller, friend. You are making changes in the world today already. No matter what size your audience is, I hate to use the word, you are influencing people's lives. You're beautifully creative. You're building a community. You're continuously learning how to do that. If If you've been doing it for a while, maybe your community is bigger than somebody who just started, but you're all doing it. You're all building that special creative force, a community that's making different decisions in their life based on the things that you're sharing with them. So you are making an impact, and you need to be charging for that impact. A fair price, a realistic price, but know your worth, friend. Know your worth.